Good morning, YouTubers. T Square with T Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. Today's video, I'm kind of just going to talk a little bit and see where it goes because there's a few different things that I kind of want to talk about, not just gold and silver. I've had a lot of comments over the last few days where people kind of have sensed, some people have sensed something's a little off with me, and a few people have actually noticed or had mentioned that maybe the videos seem like it's not as, what's the term, high quality, I guess you can say, as they've been. There's a bunch of different reasons going on here. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but I'm also going to talk about what's going on with me and how it pertains to gold and silver, because I do think that what's coming is going to be extremely drastic. I don't want to come on here and fearmonger to you guys. I don't share that because I kind of think that if people are going to fearmonger people, it pushes them to make rash decisions that may not be right. For me, I spend a lot of my time, pretty much all my time is either spent on making YouTube videos or answering comments or putting up posts, following the Discord, and looking for deals on precious metals. I don't show you guys every package that I get in. I don't want people to think like, oh, he's showboating, because people don't really understand that how many people I help out. I feel for myself that I have a responsibility kind of to help, one, myself to get all the precious metals I can before things really go sideways, and two, to help everybody that's in my circle to acquire whatever they want to acquire as much as they can. I think it's important for a few different reasons. One, I think that having a solid group around you is going to put you in a better position. We don't have the money to essentially acquire a bunch of stuff, but if people were to pool money together, we can get cheaper deals, bigger orders, and it helps everybody as a whole, and so we get to push more. I also think the direction that the economy is going right now, I think it's going to be a little brutal. I've had someone ask me today, if you think that there could be a pullback coming, then why would you be picking up anything right now? I also believe that with any kind of a pullback in the price of precious metals, that it's going to be very difficult to get the packages. What do I mean by that? We've seen in the past where precious metals do crazy things and companies just shut down. Anybody that don't know that, when silver went down to $11, literally companies just closed. And then when they reopened, and all of a sudden they were canceling orders. There was just a lot of strange stuff. And a lot of people don't know that all these bullion companies, they have restrictions on their listings and on their websites that say we have the right to reserve, the right to cancel at any time. Another thing, because I don't really sleep much, obviously some days you're going to sense something maybe seems a little different. I had a couple people say depressed. I'll be honest, frustrated and depressed on why silver is acting the way it's doing, not getting as much movement as it should be. You're seeing bigger and bigger short positions get taken out on the silver. Everybody knows that's manipulation. Even the naysayers. I seen a comment from someone that's a naysayer, and he says, the manipulation, it will never end. And I was like, well, at least now you're admitting there's manipulation. To a certain point, you have to understand. I do believe that the manipulation is going to end at some point. But I also believe that when it changes, it's game over. We're talking events that happen once in a lifetime. I mean, imagine in 2003, you had a big bank account with maybe you had, I don't know, everybody's got different definitions of big. Maybe you had $10,000 in your bank account, and literally the next morning it was $10. And we're talking pesos, so 10,000 pesos, and then you only had 10 pesos. Overnight, that changed. Someone could have taken that money, bought in silver, bought in gold, and instantly been positioned in the right way. I think these are events that happen once, and once they happen, That's it. Everybody misses the boat. You're going to see a lot of people. Do I think necessarily it's going to play out the exact same way? I don't know. I really don't. I follow everything, and I always like to tell myself you only need to be a day ahead of everybody else. And those of you guys that watch the channel, you guys are pretty much a day ahead of everybody. You're not quite a day ahead of me, but I'm doing the research today. I'm posting it first thing in the morning, and people have opportunities to decide if they agree and how they want to play it out. And then obviously on the flip side of that too, putting up videos every day. There's not a lot of YouTubers, I don't think, that are as dedicated as me that put up YouTube videos every single day. I put up videos every day. I try to put up shorts every night. I try to answer all the comments, 100% of the comments, even though it's a guarantee if you're a member of the channel. I will answer your comments because they do go right to my phone, and I try to answer them fairly quick. But I try to answer every person's because I don't want people that are in a position where they aren't financially able to become a member, or they may not have the capability for whatever the reason. There's some people out there that are totally uncredit. They have no want to have a credit card. They have no, you know what I mean? They don't use their credit card, and they're not going to risk anything like that. And so that to them, that $1.99 is not a big deal. But I mean, obviously, if we do special events where we're giving out free silver, kind of like we're going to do this weekend for members, there's only about 80 members or so right now. And then we've got, 2 or 3 prizes, I think, that we're going to be giving out this weekend. So you're talking 3 ounces of silver. Odds are pretty good, in my opinion. I mean, 1 in 25, 1 in 28. And there are no extra entries on this one. So there was no special event that we had where people had the opportunity to win extra entries. It's every member has the amount of entries that pairs up to the level of membership that they have. I tried to, though, push, like I said, I obviously can't give every member, every subscriber something, but one of the perks that I give members is their comments go right to my phone. And I try to make it a point, though, to answer every single comment from every subscriber, because I want people to understand that if you're a subscriber of this channel, it really doesn't matter if you're just a subscriber or if you're a member and a subscriber. I try to give everybody an equal shot, because what is coming, I believe, is going to be devastating. And I think it's going to be the only way out. I hate to talk about what's going on between the U.S. and China with the T word. I was told to try not to use that word in a whole video and see how the video does. With what's going on, I think that was essentially a curveball that we put that out, and we hoped maybe that would change the course of things. And I honestly don't think it's going to change the course of anything. I think the economy has been in the can for a while, and I think it's inevitable where it's going to go. Now, will we see a devastating pullback on silver? We're clearly not seeing it on gold right now. When you look at the gold price, obviously the gold price had a phenomenal 2 days in a row. Yeah, we're down $49 in overnight trading, but we went up a whole $100 the other day. We were up $100 at one point yesterday, and I mean, to give back 49 of it is nothing really. We're seeing some crazy jumps in the price of gold, and I think inevitably it's going to start working its way back up. This is just the last 30 days on gold, and I know there was a lot of people up here when it hit 35, and they believe 35 is the absolute top, and we're going to hit 35 again, but they also think it's going to just turn out the same way and see another big pullback all the way down to, I mean, literally 31.97 is what we went down to the other day, about a week ago. So I think eventually we're going to pop this 25, and once we do, we're going to be off to 35, And once we do, we're going to be off to 36, 37, and it's just going to keep going. $4,000 gold by the end of the year, I think, is a no-brainer. JP Morgan just came out the other day, and they did basically restate or revise their gold prediction for the end of the year, and their new end of the year is now 37. I think that's inevitable too. At the rate that we're going up, we're seeing $100 days. When you look at these charts, I mean, these things just, I mean, look at this. This is a 3-month chart. I mean, this is a 6-month chart. This is a 1-year chart. I mean, the incline is just escalating higher and higher, faster and faster, until we're just going straight up. And this is something you see in any fiat currency that has been debased, devalued, and then destroyed, essentially. We've seen this in Venezuela. We've seen this in Lebanon, Weimar Germany, Zimbabwe. Countless countries have gone through this. The idea that the U.S., that can't happen here, I think is silly. Anything that can happen to any country can happen to the United States. Will it be played out the exact same way? No, probably not, because people are going to do different things. But if you take a household that is living above their means and all of a sudden they, I don't even know if I said, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button if you're still watching this video. It really does help out the channel, and leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And if you're not subscribed, that's the huge thing, if you can hit that subscribe button. But yeah, I mean, if you're in a household that's living above their means and you've now acquired, I don't know, we'll just say $50,000, $60,000 in debt, and your household income is that much a year, you're essentially biding your time. You're just trying to stay afloat. You're trying to kick the can down the road. You're hoping for something to change. And it's not a guarantee that anything will change. This is the real world. And essentially, we put ourselves in these positions that can backfire. And I think the U.S. has now built up such a deficit that unless they do something drastic, they're not going to get out of it. And even if they do something drastic, how are people going to react to that? How are Americans going to react to that? If all of a sudden we had to, because ultimately people are arguing right now about every single thing that they're trying to cut money. It doesn't matter what the program is. If they try to cut a little bit of money out of it, you have Americans that are really up in arms and upset about it. Someone is always going to be upset. If you're in a household, I'll come back to the household analogy, and you're like, hey, we need to cut out movie night. Someone's going to be upset. Hey, we need to stop eating out that 1 or 2 nights we eat out. Someone's going to be upset. Hey, we need to cut cable, internet, AC. It doesn't matter. Somebody will be upset. Obviously, trying to keep the fewest people upset is probably the best approach. But at the end of the day, we don't have the money to provide to every one of these basically programs that we offer here in the United States. And I think it's inevitable that they're going to do their best to keep printing money, and hopefully people keep accepting it. But even that in and of itself, the printing of money makes it worth less and less, and that shoots gold and silver up even higher. I had one of my buddies today say he don't think it can break 3,500. He said, yeah, we might break it for a few minutes. We hit 3504 when we hit 35, but then it came right back down, and it came down violently. I think when people think that, what they're closed-minded on is the fact that they're not understanding that the dollar could literally go to worthless. It's not going to happen that it's going to go worthless overnight, most likely. But there's a lot of things that if the government sees that the dollar is losing value too fast, too rapidly, there's a lot of things that could happen that could escalate it, depending on how people react to it. Obviously, if people dump treasuries, that's horrible for the dollar. And if people more and more people decide to start buying resources outside of the system, whether that be gold, silver, I don't know, copper, nickel, oil. Maybe they're finding a way, who knows, fill up just anything you can buy. If everybody went out tomorrow and filled their tanks all the way up and just kept them plumb full, I mean, you have to wonder what kind of impact that would have on the system. Even you look what happened, when we have these food shortages, these canned goods shortages at the grocery store, toilet paper shortages. That's just every American going into the store and buying a little bit more than they would normally buy. Yes, there's going to be some people that are going to just try to gouge the system and get everything. I mean, but at the end of the day, even if people just all bought double what they would normally buy, it takes a hit on the system. And the system is really unstable right now. I don't think people understand how wobbly everything is right now. A lot of chatter, obviously, blaming that. Oh, I almost said that word again. What's going on between the U.S. and China with the T's. But that, too, in and of itself is not a guarantee that could have... we don't know how far that will go. Obviously, there is trade talks coming up. That's why I pulled this up. Stock futures are rising on news of upcoming U.S. and China trade talks. If that happens, then who knows what could happen. But I don't really think it's going to be a fix. And I really wonder, with everything manipulated as it is, I mean, remember the plunge protection team? Don't forget about them. Who knows if they're out there right now buying up stocks to make the stock market look a little better than it is. And they're saying, oh, it's because of the talks. We don't entirely know what's going to happen. Like I said, I actually did yesterday's video, and I was thinking that we were going into the 7th, and it turned out we were already in the 6th, and that's why I had mentioned that the Fed meeting. The Fed meeting does happen today now. When you guys are watching this, it's going to happen today, Wednesday. A lot of people are wondering, are they going to cut interest rates? I asked everybody in the comments yesterday, put a comment in, let me know what you thought. A lot of people said they don't think they will, and most likely they won't. But you have to understand, there is a huge amount of pressure right now on Jerome Powell. I mean, now we're starting to hear, little things come up like, wobbly economy will probably push the Fed to cut interest rates later this year. I heard someone leave me a comment and they said, well, Jerome Powell said he wasn't cutting rates this time. Jerome Powell has said a lot of things and either been wrong or didn't want to tell us. The whole inflation was transitory, or there wasn't any inflation. It was just greedy companies. I mean, they've been saying stuff now for a while, and they don't want to tell you the truth because they don't want you panicking. If you start panicking, you are going to make decisions that could essentially hurt the U.S. dollar. Not just if you do it, but if everybody as a whole starts doing it. And that's what they're really ultimately worried about right now. The strength of the dollar, a huge factor of that is the factor that everyday Americans are willing to accept them. If everyday Americans decided tomorrow, hey, yeah, they still got to get them from their work, but as soon as they get them, they're going to go out and buy stuff that they think they'll need later and that will only go up in price. You guys know I used to do extreme couponing. If you've been following the channel for a while, you've seen where I've done videos, $200, $300 worth of stuff for pennies on the dollar. All that stuff now, a bottle of Tresemme shampoo is a lot more than it was, years ago. So once you understand that, you understand everything is going up in price. And inflation, even at 2.5%, is bad. It's still taking away from your wealth. And so, like right now, like I said, I'm spending a lot of time trying to pick up as many good deals as I can. I know there is a lot of fear out there that if the stock market tanks, gold and silver is going to tank. So there are people out there that are cutting their position. They're cutting their position. We've got gold back almost at $3,500, and they think, okay, we're going to hit 35 again, then we're going to plunge back down. I'm going to sell everything, let it dry up now, and then I'll have all that money, and then I'll be able to buy it all back up for, I don't know, $3,200 or $3,300. And that's a possibility, but it's not a guarantee. I like to play the safe bet sometimes. If there's nothing spectacular going on, you'll see that I'll wait for a good dip. But right now, I think the events that are coming are going to be devastating to a lot of people. I don't say that to scare anybody. I don't want anybody running out today and saying, oh, I think the economy's going to tank and we're all going to be unemployed, and because we're unemployed, we're not even going to be able to get groceries and this and that. I don't want people to freak out. If you've been following the channel for a while, you understand, first of all, this is not financial advice, nor should it be considered as such. But you also understand that you have to be prepared for whatever's going to come your way. You should have a certain amount of food and water on hand. That should really be a priority. If you don't have extra canned goods in your house, if you couldn't survive locked up in your house for, we'll just say, we'll take an easy number, 2 or 3 weeks, then maybe you shouldn't be stacking precious metals just yet. If you're at the point where you can stay locked up in your house for a month, 2 months, 6 months, then you are probably golden. Because 6 months, I had one of my buddies say, what good is having an extra 6 months medicine on you going to do you any good? He goes, at the end of 6 months, then what? You still going to run out. You only have to outlast the majority. And I know that sounds bad, but eventually the system does come back online. When you have 50 outlets on a circuit and they're all running different appliances, you burn the circuit, you trip the breaker, you're taking too much. But if literally some of those outlets were to fry or an appliance was to burn out, well, that's less stress on that circuit. And so less stress means essentially that the other items get to operate. I'm not saying that I want people to be hurting just so I can outlast them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And those that took the time to really think and be prepared will be okay, I believe. I'll probably get some comment that if things get really crazy, what you think you'll be able to go and trade gold and silver for something you need. Absolutely. I've done videos on it. You can go back and watch videos that I've done where I've traded literally evening dinners for silver. I was up in Maine with my son. We were up there for a whole month. I happened to have a set of the state quarters. Somebody really liked it at a restaurant or a sandwich shop place. And they said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a gift card for $100 for that set of coins. And I said yes. And then the next time I went in there, I used the gift card a couple times. The next time I went in there, I had a Morgan dollar in my hand. And that's what the lady said. She goes, I'll tell you what, I'll top off that gift card with another $50 if I can have that Morgan dollar. I said, I'll do that. I go, what makes you want it? She goes, well, I've been to the auctions and they always sell quick. People, when they find them, they always want to grab them up. And essentially, you don't see them that often anymore. I mean, a Morgan dollar that's almost 100 years old, it's a good deal. And for her, she looked at it like $50 in pizza and sandwiches. Ain't going to cost her $50. But here's the thing. It was going to cost me $50 because me and my son, we were eating out every night. We were on, essentially, I won't say vacation because the circumstances for us being up there weren't the best. But we were up there, and, I didn't want to be someone's house guest and then going in their kitchen and cooking and all this and that. So, once you understand these things, you understand that having everything you need now is going to put you in a better position later. And I'll be honest, when stuff really does start breaking down, there's a possibility I won't be here on YouTube. It may be because videos like this get just totally cut, or it may be because with everything going on, I'm going to be trying to make sure that I'm okay and not essentially talking too much about, oh, I got this plan, I got this camp over here, I'm going to go up here, I'm going to do that, because I don't want any kind of risk assessment to happen where I have vulnerabilities now. So, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens today. What do I ultimately want to see? I mean, I look at it like no matter what happens, I'll be covered. If you've made a plan and you've stacked precious metals, if they decide they are going to cut interest rates, your precious metals will go up in value. If they don't cut interest rates, there could be a lot of jobs getting cut. You could see the economy slow. You could see people unemployed. And that does put people in a hard spot. At the end of the day, if you've prepared yourself either way, you're going to be okay. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk a little bit about today. I know this video might have been a little different. I apologize for some people thinking maybe I'm under the weather a little bit, or maybe the videos have went downhill a little bit. There is a ton of stuff that I'm trying to take care of right now. I'm trying to beef up my security, beef up my stocks, basically in preps. Beef up my precious metals a little bit. I'm trying to pick up deals. I'm trying to cut down a little bit on my cash supply. I don't want to have too much of a surplus on hand. I want to have a rounded investments, not just precious metals only. There is other stuff that I think can come in handy. Precious metals plays a big part, but if you've got, I don't know, maybe some extra pew-pews, some extra freedom seeds to go with your pew-pews. There's a lot of different things, and if you really needed the money, you could sell them, and it does put you in a good position. And there's a lot of people right now that are having a hard time, and they are selling items on the cheap. If you picked up something recently and you want to put it in the comments, I'd love to hear what you picked up at a good deal. I ended up picking up a car at a super cheap deal. I would not have guessed that. I would have gotten it for that. It's so cheap that I literally got almost an offer of double what I paid almost right off the bat. The first day driving it, they're like, oh my word, that's an awesome deal. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to wrap the video up here. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget, hit that thumbs up, help me out, leave me a comment, let me know what you think and where you think things are going, and I will see you guys again next time on T-Square Talk. And in the meantime, please go ahead and check out some of these other great videos. We post videos every day. A lot of good content out there that people will like, I think. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.